The world of work is changing. Artificial intelligence and automation will make this shift as significant as the mechanization in prior generations. While some jobs will be lost and many others created, almost all will change. The COVID-19 crisis accelerated existing trends and caused organizations to reevaluate many aspects of work. Microsoft has acknowledged that Africa's 1 billion youth population will play a pivotal role in the global workforce and the future of work by the turn of the century. I got the chance to spend the day with staff of STEM Met Resources, where they help in bridging the skill gap in the Nigerian educational sector, using STEM-based programs from early childhood by equipping current students with technical and soft skills to build a future-ready workforce. Here is Zena, the General Manager of Operations, STEM Met Resources, speaking on what the classes entail for the children.
We're here at Cassius School, where STEM Met runs an after-school program. And in this particular school, we are running our Robotics Without Coding program using one of our flagship kits called the Bricks for Kids Project Kit 1. And what are we doing exactly? It's teaching children STEM, science, technology, engineering, and maths, doing robotics, basically teaching them science that aligns with what the curriculum of the school is for the term. So they build various models, real life models, and they learn how it functions. They learn the engineering about each model, they learn the science, they learn the maths, and sometimes, occasionally, we have the arts, where some people know it as STEAM. And that's what we do here at STEM Met. And I'm sure you can see the kids behind me. They're having lots of fun building. It helps refine their fine motor skills. It helps with collaborative. If you notice behind me, they're actually working in groups. This fosters collaboration because there's no child who will grow to become an adult in the workspace that will work alone. We know that that's not possible in the workspace. So we teach them from the foundation that they learn to leverage on each other's ability, and they work together. Same thing with creativity. So sometimes during these projects, they get stuck and they have to think outside the box. And I think we are in a century where you don't think outside the box, you think without the box. And that's exactly what we try to instill and what they learn during this program. It helps them in lots of ways. And I must also add that it's not necessarily for those who want to study science. It helps every profession, art, whether you're in the arts, whether you want to become a footballer and all that. So it helps with fine motor skills, like I mentioned earlier, critical thinking without the box, so you get stuck. In fact, some of us as adults, when we go and buy our standing fan, some of us always have to tell the seller to help us mount it before we get home. Meanwhile, this is something you can do yourself, and if you engage any of our children here, they can actually mount a fan because of the experience and the exposure they have. So, and in the workforce, collaboration, in fact, creativity, all problem-solving skills is all needed in the workspace. And this is what we instill from a tender age. And then they build on it, develop it, and then it helps in the workspace and helps with innovation. Innovating of things, so that we don't just end up becoming a consumer country like they call us, but an innovative one.
I got the opportunity to be present for one of the sessions for the children, and it really was impressive to see the children learning the importance of working in teams and building from scratch. Here is Ade Bimpe, a facilitator at STEM Met, speaking on how they update their curriculum and make sure the students are well equipped for the future of work.
The theme is life science, and that's the scientific study of life processes. So we talked about some insects and like the dragonfly, the butterfly. We talked about the life cycle, and regarding the personal fan, we talked about terms, scientific terms like the homeostasis. So they learned new terms. They also learned about the photosynthesis and how the life processes works. So this helps them to know the science behind most of the insects that we see out there. And then they get to build, so they get to see some parts that can be used in building, like the fan, the dragonfly, and how they actually work.
What I have in my hands is a personal fan. We made it out of Lego bricks, such as a pulley, a bushing, and a axle corrector. So unlike other fans, you can carry it with you when you're walking in hot places because other fans are too big to fit inside. So that's why it's good to have a personal fan with you.
STEM is a very fun class because we get to do different builds. Because this term, our theme was life, science in life. And we built 5 builds: dragonfly, caterpillar, personal fan, which we built today, dinosaur, and caterpillar. They were very fun builds, especially the dinosaur. But caterpillar was the easiest one out of them all. Personal fans were very fun to build.
STEM Met resources have various programs and gadgets to make sure the children are kept on their feet and, most importantly, learning in order to be ready for the future of work. Here is General Manager speaking on the different gadgets they offer to achieve this and how they are used.
A variety of programs, one of which we saw the children execute, and these are some other ones that we have. So we have the SCOTIGO kits that we use in teaching coding, coding without a computer, and it's fully hands-on, fully exciting. It teaches the basic coding concepts. So algorithms, sequencing, and what have you. And once they've used these boards, as you can see here, to follow a set of instructions to complete a task, all the instructor does is to help scan, and then we'll see if they actually got the particular exercise right. It's fun, it's less computer. So for parents who actually wants to reduce screen time for their kids, this is the best activity. And as STEM Mates, we run that with children. We also have another kit, Bricks for Kids Color Kit A, that's what we call this, and it's used to also teach robotics. It helps to improve the fine motor skills of kids. It helps to improve creativity, innovation, and what have you. I'm sure parents will be trying to guess what this is. Can you guess? It's actually the head of an elephant. I'm sure some of you guessed right or not. Yeah, so we have another interesting one. This is called the Little Engineer Kit, and this is used to teach coding, robotics, and coding. It has a set of instructions that you follow. There's a manual, so each child gets a manual to build. So it's not like they are actually building from their head per se, but they learn coding, they build, and they test. Now, I need to also emphasize that most of what they build here is actually live things that exist, so to say. Like this is a remote control robot, and it has different parts and elements that is used to build it, which actually exist in the automobile world, if I can put it that way. So that's that. We also have this, it's called the Straw Biscuits, and it's called the Straw Biscuits. Oops, this is off. But then it's called the Straw Biscuits. So they learn construction. It uses a microbit, so there's coding involved here. It's very fun. It helps focus. It helps collaboration. It helps with your creativity skills, because this actually is not really easy. We've seen adults mess up with this, but it's usually very fun. It has a microbit chip here. It has a servo chip here. Those of us in the automobile industry will know what a servo is, and our children get to learn what a servo is and what part in the car you actually find it. Is always very fun. And they learn to code as well. And it's not boring. That's another interesting part. This here is called the Snap Circuit Kit, and this is used to teach electronics. Very fun, very hands-on, very engaging. And let's see. Can you see that? Now, for those from the 1970s or something, I'm sure we played these games using our hands and rubber. It's usually very interesting. And then it teaches basic electronics. So imagine your child at 4, 5, 6, starting to learn this. And, we always have this idea, or some of our kids have this idea, science is hard, engineering is hard. But when they get to engage with activities like this, it makes it fun and interesting, and they see that it's actually not difficult. This is another very fun activity. I'm sure you're wondering, blocks, but trust me, it teaches a whole lot to a child. Can you guess what this is? flamingo. It's a flamingo and it's built. Yeah, so some of the kits actually they use programs like this. It's called the VJC program. You know, I'm sure a lot of us are familiar with the Python, the JavaScript, HTML, and CSS, but you should know that in the world of programming, there's a whole lot that is involved in that space. And yeah, these are some out of a whole lot that we have at STEMmet Resources.
If anything, companies like STEMmet Resources emphasizes the fact that Nigerians do not need to leave the country to get quality education or get ready for the future of work. We have them all here in the country. There just needs the right infrastructure for these services to be available to every citizen. Let's work towards the future of work together. For Arise News, Sadiq Garba.